Let's have a look at the newspapers for you this morning with the comedian Jared Christmas and Claire Emes from Ipsos. MORI, morning to you once again. Claire, of course, it's the start of the Labour Party conference today. The Mail on Sunday, bringing back that old brotherly rivalry for us.
Absolutely. We cannot miss the brotherly love in all of the papers at the moment between the Milibands. We've seen David's come out and denied some of this, but I think it's Ed Miliband's worst nightmare, really. The Labour lead in the polls is being completely overshadowed by the fact that there's so many questions about whether he's strong enough to really be leading the party, let alone the country. So I think this is, you know, they probably need to sit down, David and Ed, and have lunch, I think, like Cameron and Johnson perhaps, and try and sort this out once and for all. But it's not really a great start for Ed Miliband.
No, there's no easy way out of this, is there? I mean, it's worth pointing out that this is all being denied by both the Miliband brothers, David Miliband saying this is a work of fiction. But there is no easy way out, is there? I mean, even a full-on backing from David to Ed isn't going to make that much difference, I would have thought.
No, I think the problem is that the public, although they think he understands people, they don't really think he's particularly strong or that he really is prime ministerial material. And actually, I think many people would prefer to see David Miliband in his job. And I think that's a fundamental issue, not the fact that whether or not his brother actually supports him. Is he up to the job?
He's a better-looking guy, isn't he? Let's all be honest.
Which one, David?
He looks stronger, looks more confident, doesn't he? Maybe that's just because he's in the foreground of that shot.
Yeah, not sure about that photo.
Yeah,
but of course, the big issue with this, though, is, of course, whether, in fact, the leadership is going to go at some point to Vivek Cooper.
Absolutely, that seems to be, that's the talk of the town at the moment, and obviously she's got Ed Balls there to support her, so...
Oh, it's interesting times there, but I mean, it's a long time to the next general election, although the wheels are turning, of course, ready for that, but a couple of years... It's a long time in politics, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jared, the Sunday
Yes.
Times, we have a bit of a shock story this morning.
Yeah, whoa! A rich man pays his taxes. This shouldn't even be a story. They should just pay taxes anyway. But, yeah, I don't think he's going to be popular with all his chums, admitting that he pays, like, the right amount of tax. There's some huge figures in there, the amounts that he pays. It's really handy. Thanks. Keep doing it.
He's paying £34 million in tax on an £87 million income. But what is fascinating about Mr. David Harding is that his overall tax rate last year was 39%.
Yeah.
That's pretty good for someone who's making 87 million quid, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so. Sole trader is about 40%, so he's not percentage off, isn't he?
Well, but he should be paying 50% on everything over 150 grand.
But when you put it into real terms, I mean, it says the amount he's paying £34 million in tax. That's enough to fund the salaries of 1,600 newly qualified nurses. So when you put it into real terms like that, people start to understand where the tax money's going and how much these people should actually be paying.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, good on him for admitting that he does. It's obviously a bit of a PR thing for him to get everyone on side. So if there is a working class revolution, he's hoping not to get taken down.
Maybe we could all get in the papers next week for admitting that we actually all pay our taxes as well.
I pay my tax.
We don't
Maybe not on time.
No.
It gets there eventually.
We don't get any choice, do we?
Yeah.
Thank you. Stay with us. Lots more still to come, including, are you one of the lucky few who never have to dye their hair? And the fate of short-dated food come Christmas. The papers this morning, fat pets, Claire, in the Independent on Sunday, a big problem.
That's right, yes. Meet Fifi, the fat cat. And they talk also about Jumbo Jack in here as well, a dog. Basically, we're overfeeding our pets, and we've got a real issue, not just with human obesity and childhood obesity that we hear a lot in the papers, but now pet obesity.
It's pet abuse, this.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's the thing, and you know, lots of stuff we've done looking at obesity, people are often saying it's the parents to blame, and I think here you certainly can't blame the pets.
No.
It's the dog owners here.
You don't see any obese wild animals, do you?
No, quite. I mean, these dog owners feeding their dogs crisps and takeaways. I mean, that's just absolutely shocking.
It's also a lack of exercise for the pets, isn't it? I mean, the modern lifestyle now, I know so many people who have dogs who live in flats and work full-time jobs, and the dog maybe gets walked once a day. I mean, all that comes into factor as well, doesn't it?
Don't feed your animals the stuff that you eat, that when you're eating it, you know it's bad. You're like, well, I can feel this clogging my arteries already, so I'll give it to Fido.
Yeah. It's laziness as well, isn't it?
Yeah, real
Last time I had the cat at the vet's, I noticed a poster saying every kilogram in weight for a cat, I think, takes about 2 years off its life.
Wow.
So,
How do
But
you
they've
get
got 9 of them, though.
well, this is true.
That's a lot of food.
This
a
is
cat.
true.
Well, this cat's twice the size of an average cat.
But how do you get a cat to lose weight? Apart, I mean, you
don't
can't
feed
take it
it.
for a walk, can you?
Make sure they go out and just. I weigh the food out for Timmy.
Do you?
I weigh it out.
You're a responsible pet owner.
You are.
Yes, they're laughing at me now. Timmy. He's called Timmy. There you go, my
And
cat.
he's a very healthy cat.
He's a rescue cat from the SPCA, so I look after him very carefully. Jared,
Yes.
Daily Star Sunday, snacks rip-off.
Yeah, this is big news. Hospitals are and their snack vending machines are sometimes charging up to 50% more for your snacks than what you'd possibly pay at a supermarket. And it's kind of like, all right, we're in hospital for a reason. You're already ripping us off with the parking, so you're hitting us again.
But if you're going to hospital, should you really be buying a load of Mars bars and Kit
I
Kats?
quite agree.
Of course you should be. It's not the patients who are buying it.
You
is
wouldn't give
It's
it to the cat, would you?
No, that's. I mean, I love vending machines because I love the risk involved in will it actually vend my chocolate bar.
And do you want to be caught being angry and kicking
Yeah.
it and looking that desperate to get your chocolate out of the
Exactly.
machine?
And maybe if it doesn't vend it, maybe it's trying to tell me something.
Do
and I
you
should
do
get
you
the hint.
do you shake a vending machine?
I've
Have
been
you-
known to elbow a vending machine, just give it a little nudge.
Has it worked?
No, never. But every now and then, I'll be honest, every now and then, I bought one thing, put my hand in, there's 2 chocolate bars.
Oh.
Nice surprise. That's the lottery of vending machines,
It is,
isn't
isn't it?
It is nice when
That
that,
is
happens.
good times.
Sunday Times, Claire, Edinburgh University, the worst for teaching according to this latest table.
Yes, I think what's interesting here is not so much how Edinburgh's fared, but the fact that this is about how students feel about their university. So we're not necessarily looking at the results of people's degrees. It's all about how the students themselves judge the university. So the National Student Survey has just been released, and it's what students think about teaching. And I think that's quite important, and it's a really important time at the moment for students. I've got a cousin who's applying to university. How do you make up your mind? There's so much information out there now. What do you do? And I think this is a sort of an extra layer of complexity for them in some ways.
It is. I mean, shouldn't we judge them on results rather than what? I don't know. It seems difficult to if you're getting a student's view. They might be getting the education. They might not like the member of staff teaching them, but they might be getting the key information through.
But I think that's important. I mean, you're there for 3-4 years. You've got to enjoy yourself. You've got to feel part of it.
And you're getting a consumer's point of view now, because these students are paying an extortionate amount of money for their education, so they're looking at it more carefully now and going, what are we paying for? If we don't think we're having enough classes, if we don't think our teachers are teaching us in the right way, I think it's quite good that they're examining their universities more than perhaps students of the past would, because you weren't paying £9,000 a year.
You're quite right. You need to think about the return on investment you're getting now. We've seen an increase in satisfaction this year, or going on for the last few years. But I'll be interested to see if in a few years' time, when this next sort of group of students who are paying sort of £9,000 for their tuition fees, are they going to still feel quite as satisfied with what they're getting?
I think you've got to balance up the positives with the negatives, though. Edinburgh University, worst teaching, great city though. Harper Adams University, 3rd for best teaching. And let's look at where it's based, shall we?
Where is it based?
I don't know, Telford or something like that.
Oh, right, well, there's good
middle of
spots
nowhere.
about
Middle of
every university town. Final story, Sunday Telegraph. Jared, are you a natural brunette?
Yeah, I am. I'm going a bit bald at the back, but I'm embracing that.
You're embracing it.
But there's this is the story about the dying, isn't it?
Yeah.
Those will never die.
So-
Those. What's the statistic?
I think it's 1 in 10 over 60 do not need to dye their hair. They do not have one grey hair on their
And
head.
they are obviously people without children.
Yeah, do you know what? It seems desperately unfair because mine's greying rapidly. But what can you do?
It looks very distinguished. You're okay, you can get away with
Exactly.
it.
We were talking about this. It looks distinguished on a man, but is it the same positive reaction for a
Should
woman?
be, should be
It's
for women, I
tough.
think.
It's tough for women, I think.
We're out of time, I'm afraid, but it's really good to see you both this morning. Thank you
Thanks
very
for
much
having us.
indeed. Let's find out what's on
Really
the back
enjoyed
pages
this.
for you. Here's Selena.
Stephen